I'd be kind of curious on knowing what kind of animal would I be in terms of the world in which this film shows us. I kind of would like to be like someone like an owl, but who knows? Depending on my gene mutation, I'm probably going to be something that is considered like a prey more than a predator. That's for sure. But it's funny to think how for a film that has talking animals, I mean, no primates and nothing of that nature. Just other animals, but when it comes to our species, we don't exist. We're like extinct, or we're never in the picture. It's almost like animals became smarter than actual human beings, even though this movie shows us that it is the same type of world that we live in. But I mean, it's kind of funny to think how animals of any type of species is smarter than a chimpanzee would ever evolve into. I guess that's something to be proud of, but I don't know. It kind of makes you think like, man, nothing, huh? You're just gonna throw human beings under the bus too, but whatever.
Is that Mr. Big?
Stop talking, stop talking.
Isom.
Daddy! What did we say? No icing anyone at my wedding!
I have to, baby. Daddy has to.
Zootopia is directed by Bryon Howard and Richard Moore, with a screenplay by Jared Bush and Phil Johnston, and a story by Bryon Howard, Richard Moore, Jared Bush, Josie Trinidad, Philip Johnston, and Jennifer Lee. The film stars Ginnifer, Goodwin, Jason Bateman, Idris Elba, Jenny Slate, Nate Torrence, Bonnie Hunt, Don Lake, Tommy Chong, J.K. Simmons, Octavia Spencer, Alan Tudyk, and Shakira. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, in a city of anthropomorphic animals, a rookie bunny cop and a cynical con artist fox must work together to uncover a conspiracy. It's hard to believe now that it's been 10 years since its release in 2016. I was 14 when I saw this movie in the theater. I'm now 24. Now, usually my rule is if it ain't 15 to 20 years, we're good. But still, I'm a little impressed that it's been 10 years, and within that decade, Zootopia is still among one of Disney's memorable films to have come out in recent years. It depends on the person, whether they like it or not. I'm just saying that for a movie like this to be released in the last 10 years, it's kind of impressive, and it kind of makes you question the state of some of Disney's animated films of today's. I don't know what that says. The concept of animals evolving like humans to have a society is pretty fun and interesting to showcase in animation form. The idea of having foxes, bunnies living amongst each other, and also other types of species, whether that be buffaloes, rhinos, giraffes, otters, you name it, is all mixed in together into this sort of melting pot, kind of similar to a country that is supposed to be like that. I remember really liking the film when it was released and really enjoying what the film offered in terms of its animation and the way the voice acting was. But upon rewatching it, this is probably still one of Disney's best films to have come out in a decade. It's crazy to me to think that, yes, I understand it was relevant back then, but I still think it is so relevant now. Especially when there's a lot of times in which we all try to act as if nobody is against one another, or that people of all different backgrounds don't have this sort of boiling point with how each group or each diverse background acts towards one another. It's insane to me on how much this movie still is speaking volumes, even if it was released almost 10 years ago. I really enjoyed the film. That I was really surprised by the heavy themes that play out in this film. It's really shocking to see a movie of 10 years still be like, yeah, we still got some issues. Where as much as we always brag and boast, or at least showcase how much that we have all come together and try to be with one another and to learn from each other, if this movie is telling us anything, it's that no, it's not perfect. It is messy still, but you try to work out the best that you can, because yeah, things are just so unorganized, but also just really complicated and messy for how people are in today's world. And I think this movie really reflects that so much in the way in which it goes about showcasing Zootopia and how it is. And for me, you guys, there was no negatives. I could tell you right now, there was never a point in this film where I'm like, man, that's a problem or that's an issue. No, I think that this movie's pretty much perfect. Everything about this movie is just so wrapped together really well that I was just amazed with it. So, yeah, with no negatives. Here are now just all the positives. The voice acting is phenomenal. Ginnifer Goodwin is upbeat and energetic as Judy Hopps is Zootopia's first bunny police officer. She brings the joy and emotion for audiences to relate to and to sympathize with. She's somebody that is, of course, naive in the way in which she views the world and how it is, believing in notion of what Zootopia pretty much promises itself as being. This place where every creature of all walks of life just get along together and everything is just perfect. And throughout this movie, she realizes that that's not the case. There's clearly a lot of issues. And I think Goodwin is able to balance the humor but also just the optimism, even when she is really faced with a lot of obstacles in the way in which it breaks that kind of reality for her. And I think she really goes along with what the film goes for, and she is able to keep it entertaining with being pretty much our eyes and our protagonists to this world of anthropomorphic animals. Jason Bateman is humorous and slick as Nick Wilde, a con artist fox that helps Chewie out with her case. Bateman helps with providing the laughs and enjoyment to keep the film fun and engaging. Jason Bateman is always a good, fun time to have with your films, and here there's no exception. He adds a lot of the laughs and a lot of the humor and a lot of the witty charm that this movie has, and he just fits in there so well that you kind of just feel like if you kind of picture Jason Bateman not being here, you would kind of question it as being why not just have Jason Bateman here? He just would fit right in, and yeah, he does. He fits totally with what this character is, and even his story is even tragic a bit, and I just really like Bateman for playing a character that just isn't dumb fully, but one that really slides on into the whole film in a way where he is just able to feel like a good combination to have in the film. Both Goodwin and Bateman are excellent together, which allows for some funny but also dramatic moments. They are so great in the movie with regards to their dynamic in the film. They seem like they had some good chemistry with one another in test recordings and screenings, and I really appreciate having this sort of duality of having a fox and a rabbit working together, because as we all know, in the ecosystem in which these animals exist, they would not get along very well. That would end very poorly. But because this is animated and it's Disney, they are able to somehow find a way to work. But yeah, Goodwin and Bateman just have this good natural chemistry with one another that you kind of just grow to like having both of them there, because when they're separate you enjoy them, but you're like, I want these guys to come back together, because the both of them just being with each other in the film just adds a lot of that energetic, emotional, but also humorous way of this film going about it. The direction is spotless. Directors Bryon Howard and Rich Moore carefully and fluently keeps the film lively by showcasing Zootopia and the ecosystems that make up the city. They also do well with following the journey that Hopps and Wilde goes on. Never at any point does it feel like it's lost or confused. It seems Howard and Moore were able to really explore the world of Zootopia and the different environments. That's what I really appreciate seeing, because you could have just set it in just one city and make it so that way it's so narrow. But no, they explore every aspect of the utopia in which this one city occupies as being, and it's kind of cool for them to take Judy and Nick on this wild ride to where they are going into different ecosystems and exploring different areas in which characters live. And it's pretty awesome to see them really fully embrace that sort of feeling of showcasing the different backgrounds and the different creatures that inhabit those said areas. And for this film to really have a tight story, but also be able to really still showcase the ecosystem of each parts of the city, I think that was really awesome, and it really showcases Howard and Moore as really talented directors at keeping things consistently tight and narrow when it came to executing this said story. The animation is stunning. Seeing the animals, city, and ecosystems were beautiful and detailed very well. After almost 10 years, it's still gorgeous. It looks amazing. Detailing on the fur, the city, the lighting, as well as even some of the rain, of course. If there's one thing that Disney and even Pixar know how to do, it's they just know how to make rain look realistic as it can. It's incredible on how much of this detailing goes into some of the designs for the characters, which of course, yeah, they're simple, but it's really cool to see how they are able to just animate all of these creatures all in the same area, because all of them move and feel different from one another. None of them feel the same. They all feel different in how characters move, whether it be elephants, giraffes, rabbits, foxes, jaguars. Like, it's crazy to see how much they are able to just pull all that together to feel like it is all synchronizing every time any animals on screen. And some of the sequences that happens in the movie is also so fluent that I was completely blown away on how they are able to pull it off, because it's pretty amazing to see them do that. The music is excellent. Composer Michael Giacchino creates a score that blends together with scenes that elevate the emotion. Also, the song that Shakira created fits well into the movie. And yeah, of course, they were prompting this movie to have Shakira in it and have her music be in here, and it's a good song to have for it. But Michael Giacchino, this man is everywhere. This man, I didn't even know he composed the score for this. I swear to you, did not know. I know a good amount of this man's work, and there are sometimes movies where I watch it where I'm like, he did the score for this? What? How? It's insane. It's crazy to me that Michael Giacchino is just one of those composers that just knows how to elevate a scene and to really get the right vibes and tones for what the movie calls for, and he is able to deliver on that when it came to this movie, with the different areas in which Judy and Nick go into and the tension filled scenes that are in here. Giacchino, bless him so much. I love this man. Still one of the best composers still out there in the industry. The story is investing. Following this bunny cop and con artist Fox solve an investigation was fun, but also very deep, with its commentary that reflects our world and its issues to a T. It's funny how, yes, a simple story like this, with again Judy meeting Nick and them going on this wild adventure to solve a case, is fun, but I was surprised on how much this film really goes deep into its commentary on race, pretty much race relations with everyone, and the issues that stem with stereotypes and backgrounds on people. And I thought, for a movie that is all about animals, it's pretty incredible how they are able to really pull it off in a way where it feels right for this movie. There's never a point where it felt like it was jarring or coming out of nowhere. This was like tailor made into this movie. It was woven into this movie in a way where it just felt natural when it happens. And for a film to really discuss that theme, that topic of race relations and how the public views groups of people, or in this case, different species, is pretty impressive, to say the least, for how much this movie could have just been just a regular enjoyable movie for the family. But it's honestly cool to see a movie take that leap of faith and just have a commentary that I think so relevant to today, that it just really makes us want to just recognize the issues and implications of the world than ever before. The writing is sharp. Writers Jared Bush and Phil Johnston craft a script that's efficient at being funny and dramatic altogether, leading to some of the best moments in a Disney film. Whether it be them going to see Flash 100-yard dash, or even the moments that Judy tries to get real with Nick with regard to how she's seeing him in a way, were really effective. They felt genuine, and they add to the humor, and the humor of it is pretty funny, especially one where they go to a area in which all animals are naked, reflecting nudist colonies, and also referencing other films like The Godfather with Mr. Big. So it's just cool to see that these two were able to kind of craft something that was both sharply intuitive and funny and able to just blend it in a way where it was connective and never felt like it lost its touch. It was always in sync with one another. The pacing and runtime is effective. Scenes will keep going and feels right when it happens. With a runtime of 1 hour and 48 minutes, it never draws out. Never in a point in this movie where the plot dips or that the film just completely stops for something. No, this movie just keeps going and it just gets right to the point of it and it just keeps going. It never felt like it dragged or stopped or stalled. It felt like it was able to get itself going where it needed to go and just knew when to end. And I'm always happy to see an animated movie just know when to give audiences stuff that they need to know about and just keep you going in a way where it doesn't feel like it just went by in a flash. It felt like it was just right for what this movie was. The editing is precise. Every cut is on point and inconsistent when it happens, leading to some fast parts that are cut well. Sequences that happen in this movie felt fluent. It felt efficient in how it is able to be seen and how it is all put together. That's what I like about a movie, especially an animated movie. If it is able to just feel and blend itself in a way where it's on point with how the rest of the movie is, that's pretty amazing, and it's fantastic to see a film like this still kind of showcase, hey, we can still pull off something that isn't over 2 hours. We could still pull this off in pretty much over an hour and 30 minutes. The villain is reflective. Their motivation for what they do made sense and really making the theme more prevalent for today. I won't reveal what it is, even though I know so many people could say, well, it's been a decade, Zach. I know, but for me personally, I think the relevancy for which this villain presents itself kind of showcases our ignorance and our disillusions in the way in which we view one another and how we see each other. And for as much as I can understand where they come from, that said, it just is showcasing how much that the world is not as perfect as it seems, that there's still issues with it, problems that we need to be fixed. And I'm happy to see a film have a villain that, sure, some may say won't be the most memorable, but one that I respect the most because of how real it is, especially given now. It was real back then, it is still real now. The production is incredible. For having $150 million, everything was well spent. Everything came out perfectly in the way in which it is. Of course, having the resources, because it's Disney, they were able to just put as much money and much of that hard work into it, and it's all showcased throughout. So much of this movie is reliant on how much the animators, but also a lot of the technical parts of it, just really do showcase how much films like this are very special. There's a reason why, for a long time, Disney or even Pixar were always considered the high quality film animated studios that they were, and that is because of movies like these. They are able to hold together money that they need to make films like these to showcase for the world, to be like, man, that was really well produced and well made. It really showcases how much Disney back then, even though, yeah, it was only 10 years ago, were able to pull off movies like these and show people, like, hey, we're an animation studio that knows what we can do and what we can make, and for audiences to come and see. All in all, Zootopia is a classic that brings the humor and heartfelt moments that reflects our world still. Matched with fun performances, an interesting story, and solid writing, it's for the whole family to enjoy. After nearly a decade, it still remains one of Disney's best animated films to date. I don't think anybody would ever dispute that, or at the very least still think to themselves that, man, how much this movie still holds up in the way in which it really commentates on the way in which we view the world and how we see each other. That's still relevant now than anyone could have ever imagined. And I really respect how everyone in this movie were able to pull off something that I think will always be remembered for a very long time. I'm going to give Zootopia a 10 out of 10. I think this movie is fantastic. If you ever get a chance to watch it, please do yourself a favor and please watch it. Especially with this sequel coming out, which is why I did this review. Why not now than ever? Because to me, I think that's the beautiness for an animated movie, especially one like this from Disney, to really tell you something about what the world is like. Yeah, it's still a heavy hitter, one that I think a lot of people will not ignore in terms of its quality. So, yeah, give it a watch if you can. So I will be soon doing a review for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and then of course soon The Running Man. So yes, look forward to those reviews and other reviews coming soon.